taste that makes you hungry for more. Enough is never enough. The stuff, taste that delivers.
Enough is never enough. The stuff.
Hello, viewers. I'm Kurious Cyclopes.
And I'm Steve.
Steve and I, we've been friends for a long time.
A long time.
We even have a show together called Never Sleep Again TV.
You might know it.
And we never thought we can get any more creative and any more imaginative. But ever since we found the stuff, we've just been through the roof of happiness. And remember, enough is never enough.
The stuff is here now. Great new taste sensation. Light and free now. Gives you elevation. Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough of the stuff.
The stuff, the taste that makes you hungry for more. The stuff, taste that delivers.
Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough.
Welcome back, Insomniacs. It's Kurious Cyclops.
And Steve.
And we got some more stuff for you today. Well, we're going to be talking about 1985's The Stuff.
Warning. We interrupt this presentation with the following urgent message regarding the stuff. If you see it in stores, call the police. If you have it in your home, don't touch it. Get out. The stuff is a product of nature, a deadly living organism. It is addictive and destructive. It can overcome your mind and take over your body. And nothing can stop it.
Well, I feel like a lot of the Blu-ray releases that have been coming out the past couple years, they've been really getting more people acquainted with some of the older, like, B horror films that we might have not seen. Honestly, I didn't hear of this stuff until I was first hearing about the Blu-ray release that was coming out, which you now own.
Right.
So, yeah, I pretty much knew nada about this stuff. So,
Yeah.
And, you know, when I know nothing about a horror movie, it's always exciting, especially if it's an older one. It's always exciting to finally get around to seeing it. And a lot of people locally have been praising the movie. A lot of people online praise the movie.
Yeah.
So you picked it up and we watched it. All
Yep.
right. So, Steve, take us away on the stuff, on the general plot, I guess.
All right. Well, I got the movie because I knew two keywords, and they're probably all you really need to know about this movie. But I heard killer yogurt.
Oh.
And in my brain, I was just like, that fucking movie I have to buy. So, thanks to Justin from Gift Pills for letting us know about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so when he mentioned it was a movie about killer yogurt, like, immediately I put a little mark in the back of my head and was like, you gotta get that fucking movie.
I'm glad he did.
Oh, yeah. So I ended up picking it up, and killer yogurt, it is, I mean, I guess it's kind of ambiguous what sort of dessert it really is.
It's not yogurt or ice cream. It's like a new thing.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a hybrid.
Yeah, because like there's definitely scenes in the movie where in a grocery store it's on like an end cap display, like not refrigerated or frozen at all. So like it's really weird.
Well, yeah, that was the weird thing. Like some in the store, it was just out in the open, like you said. So, and then in the other part of the store, it was in the fridge section. So it's like what you can enjoy it warm, you can enjoy it cold. Like
yep.
I guess it's multi-purpose.
As long as you're having it, enough is never enough.
As long as you have the stuff, enough's never enough. So, yeah, I mean, I know when it first opened up, these guys were working on some site, and the stuff is literally just coming out of the ground, almost like oil. Like an oil well coming out of the ground. And for some fucking reason, the guy sticks his fingers in it, tasting it, goes, holy shit, this is delicious.
Yeah.
Right away, we were like, who the fuck would stick their fingers in that? So anyway, you know, it turns out there's a couple deposits of the stuff, which is apparently some, like, alien entity, like, that is definitely sentient.
Right.
But yeah, so people start harvesting the stuff, and they're marketing it as a food product. And, of course, everyone is fucking eating it. Everyone's getting addicted to it. And they're really addicted to it.
Yeah. It's like the only thing people eat. Like, people treat it as like diet food and stuff because it's supposed to be like low fat. Like they're basically just convincing all of America that like the stuff is all you need.
And the lady's like, oh yeah, you know what people say, if you don't have stuff in a couple hours, you get really hungry.
Yeah.
And so, everyone is eating the stuff, but the main hero of this movie is definitely a little boy.
Right.
And for some reason, he's the only one with common sense that knows that, there's something fishy about this
Which
stuff.
is weird, because the only thing that we ever see to give him any inclination of, like, oh my god, something's wrong with that, is that, like, it moved in the fridge or whatever, and then he just, like, freaks out and won't touch it, won't go near it.
And, but, the little boy, one of the highlights for us was definitely when he vandalized this shit out of the grocery store. Like,
he just went on a rampage, dude.
Knocking it off the shelves, knocking it out of people's hands. So, the general plot is, I guess, the boy, he's trying to warn people about the stuff, and then eventually, when he causes a scene, he teams up and gets help with this ex-FBI agent, I guess.
Yeah.
But, so, they're trying to discover what the hell is this stuff, and, like, where's it coming from, all that. And while they're trying to uncover all these mysteries, they're being pursued by stuffed zombies, essentially, because when you eat the stuff, it takes you over, and the stuff now controls you. So, it's pretty much like the zombification of people. And even the people harvesting this stuff, it was people that used to consume it, but now they're working for the stuff company.
Right.
And all that. But, so that's the general gist of it. Let's talk about the effects, because we got some fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So what was the deal with the Haagen-Dazs that you read a bit ago?
Yeah, apparently, like, majority of what they use to create the stuff throughout different scenes and different needs for the movie was either, like, actual yogurt, actual Haagen-Dazs ice cream, or I don't know why specifically Haagen-Dazs, but that's what it said.
Yeah, dude, what's funny, we were just talking to your dad's friend last night, who's obviously older. He said at the time Haagen-Dazs wasn't, like, really expensive ice cream, I guess.
Right.
Because, like, these days, that's like a fancy ice cream. But I guess back then, it was kind of, like, affordable. Like, it didn't make that much of a name for itself, I'm assuming. But, because obviously I was surprised that they would use a real brand of ice cream instead of just making some fake stuff.
Yeah. And then the weird one is, like, they used fire extinguisher foam as the stuff in parts, yeah.
Whenever there's, like, a big flood of it or something. So, yeah, the stuff itself is definitely awesome. I know you said a couple times it looked a little cheesy.
A little, yeah. But, I mean, it is an 80s B movie on a low budget.
But, like, the physical stuff was cool.
Oh, yeah.
So, when, like, the stuff that it did to people, first of all, I want to talk about my favorite moment in the movie. There's a dog that eats the stuff, and it, like, he goes after his owner, I guess, but when he opens up his mouth, you just see the stuff, like, oozing out, and apparently that's what happens pretty much every time, because even the character Chocolate Chip Charlie, he gets destroyed, literally, like, just torn apart by the stuff, and his mouth opens up real huge, and it comes out.
It's like it eats him from the inside out and then escapes.
Yeah. So, I would say, obviously, it's kind of like the Blob.
Yeah.
In a way. Except people didn't eat the Blob willingly.
Right. But yeah, there's definitely some Blob-esque, like, features.
It's that kind of a creature feature. But honestly, the special effects were fucking awesome. Obviously, since it's 85, there are a lot of practical effects.
Right.
Which I always am a huge fan of. Did any of the characters really stick out for you? Anyone you really like specifically?
I mean, no one necessarily made me be like, oh, I love that character.
Yeah.
Like, I think they were all good, but, like, there definitely wasn't necessarily a standout to me, I don't think.
I mean, other than the boy.
Yeah.
I guess the others were just like,
Yeah.
Chocolate Chip Charlie was pretty cool.
He was cool, yeah.
Alright, now, who released this anyway? The stuff.
The DVD, you mean?
Yeah, your Blu-ray.
Oh, it's a Arrow release.
Oh, okay, it was Arrow. Yeah. All right, but yeah, like I said, I didn't know much about it until I heard about the Arrow release, and obviously Justin from Gift Pills told us about it. But as someone that didn't see it back in the day and is seeing it now for the first time, and well, we saw it in 2018 for the first time. Right?
Yeah.
So I actually really enjoyed it. It is obviously a standalone movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like no sequels to this stuff.
Although they set it up, man. We could get one of those
That's true. Yeah, it did. Tell them about the cliffhanger it left on. Let's start with like them making him the guy.
Yeah, so the end of the stuff is like eventually they go on to convince the world with this like the reporter they were working with, she does this whole piece about like, oh, this is what the stuff's really doing to you, and like America finally starts to buy into it, and they like revolt against the stuff, and they show they're like burning it, and like so the former FBI guy and the kid go back to the two guys who like run the company, and they ask him like, oh, well, have you ever even eaten it? And they say no, so they bring out like a box of it and just sit there and make them eat it.
At gunpoint, nonetheless.
Yep. Which you would think would be bad, but they have like one bite and it takes over right away, so then they're just like scooping it in and loving it. But then the very last scene, you see that the stuff is still making its way around the black market. Somebody opens up a box, puts a finger in and tests it to make sure it's the real stuff.
Pretty much like drugs.
Yep.
Like there was like a little drug deal going on. So, yeah, the stuff was in fact still out there on the black market. So, it's not that easy to get rid of. But honestly, for a creature feature, alien type thing, I thought it was fucking awesome.
Dude, I think this might be like one of my favorite things that we've reviewed to date. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, killer dessert. Yeah. Come on, that's fucking awesome. And it is original.
And then like just some cool like sequences and stuff, like the dog and the like the Nightmare on Elm Street like room flip where the stuff is just like attacking the shit out of the guy against the wall, and then when it busts through that wall of the factory towards the end of the movie and there's just like a wave of stuff, like,
that shit was fucking like my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that looks kind of freaky.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But yeah, so guys, if you like The Blob or just aliens or any of that kind of stuff, I definitely recommend this stuff. It was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Killer dessert. What more do you want? And practical effects, definitely worth it. Definitely worth checking out. So, I guess that's gonna wrap up our thoughts about the stuff. So, Kurious Cyclopes
and Steve,
thank you for watching Never Sleep Again TV.
The stuff is here now. Great new day sensation. Light and free now. Gives you elevation. Enough is never enough. Enough is never